You know that feeling, right? That bone-deep exhaustion that another cup of coffee just can't seem to fix. Where even a full night's sleep doesn't touch the sides. It's become this frustratingly normal part of life for so many of us. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this whole energy crisis and figure out what's really going on. So let's just get right into it. It's the big question, isn't it? Why are we all so incredibly tired? Now, when you start digging for answers, there's this one explanation that pops up again and again. It's simple, it's tempting, and it sounds like it makes a lot of sense.
And that explanation is adrenal fatigue. The theory goes something like this. Our crazy, high-stress lives are constantly pushing our adrenal glands, those little hormone factories sitting on top of our kidneys, to their absolute breaking point, until eventually, they just get burned out. And this burnout supposedly is the real reason for our fatigue, our body aches, and why we can't sleep. It sounds pretty convincing, right?
Well, here's the thing. When you actually look at what the mainstream medical and scientific community has to say, the story completely changes. Dr. Anat Ben Shlomo, a leading endocrinologist, doesn't mince words. She says adrenal fatigue is a medical myth. And it's not just her. A huge review of all the evidence in a top medical journal came to the exact same conclusion. Adrenal fatigue does not exist.
So where in the world did this idea even come from? Well, it didn't come from endocrinology labs or peer-reviewed medical studies. Turns out the term was actually coined back in 1998 by a chiropractor. It's basically an invented diagnosis that got really popular in the alternative medicine world, but it has never, ever been accepted as a real medical condition.
Now, this is a really important distinction we have to make. The symptoms that people are feeling, that exhaustion, that brain fog, those are 100% real. But adrenal fatigue is not the cause. You see, there is a genuine, though pretty rare medical condition called adrenal insufficiency, with the most well-known form being Addison's disease. That is a serious illness where the adrenal glands are actually failing, and it's diagnosed with very specific medical tests. It is a world away from the vague, catch-all idea of adrenal fatigue.
And this, right here, is the central flaw in the entire adrenal fatigue argument. The myth says that chronic stress burns out your adrenals, making them produce less of the stress hormone cortisol. But the actual science shows the complete opposite is true. When you're under stress, your brain signals your adrenal glands to pump out more cortisol, not less. That's what they're designed to do. They don't get tired from doing their job. So if the science just doesn't back it up, why is this myth still so popular? Well, a big part of the answer, as you might guess, comes down to money. The same person who coined the term sells his own line of supplements on his website to treat it. And it'll set you back about $200 a month. It's kind of a classic business model. Invent a problem, then turn around and sell the solution.
But listen, this isn't just about wasting your money. This can be genuinely dangerous. Researchers at the world-renowned Mayo Clinic decided to test 12 of the most popular adrenal support supplements out there. What they found was pretty shocking. Every single one contained hidden unlisted hormones. All of them had active thyroid hormone, and most also contained powerful steroids. Taking this stuff can seriously mess with your body's natural hormone balance and could even, over time, shut down your own adrenal function.
Okay, so let's be crystal clear. Adrenal fatigue is a myth. But your exhaustion? That is very, very real. It's just being caused by something else entirely. So now we're going to shift gears. Let's move on from debunking the myth and start exploring the real scientific reasons you might be feeling so incredibly drained.
And to guide us on this investigation, we're going to look at the science behind a condition called myalgic encephalomyelitis, which you probably know better as chronic fatigue syndrome, or ME/CFS. Now, this is a real, recognized, and often devastating disease where this profound, relentless lack of energy is the main symptom. By understanding what's happening in the bodies of people with ME/CFS, we can uncover some really important clues about fatigue that can affect all of us.
We're going to break this down into 3 key areas of investigation. First, we're going to go right to the source of the problem, deep inside your cells. Then, we'll explore the surprising and kind of mind-blowing link between the health of your gut and your energy levels. And finally, we'll look at how the actual fuel you're putting into your body can either make you or break you.
All right, let's dive into our first area. We're going micro. What happens when the very engines that power your body begin to sputter and fail? To get this, we need to zoom way, way in.
Everybody, meet your mitochondria. I want you to think of these as trillions of tiny little power plants or engines inside almost every single cell in your body. Their entire job is to take the food you eat and the air you breathe and convert it into the universal energy currency for all life on Earth, a molecule called ATP. We're talking over 90% of your body's energy is cranked out by these microscopic powerhouses.
And right here is where we find a huge problem. Study after study has found that in patients with ME/CFS, their mitochondria just aren't working right. They simply cannot produce enough ATP. I mean, this chart says it all. Their cellular energy output is drastically lower than in healthy people. This isn't just a feeling of being tired. This is a measurable biological energy crisis happening at the most fundamental level of your body.
So how do we support these tiny cellular engines? Well, just like any engine, they need the right fuel and parts to run smoothly. And the research points to several key nutrients. You need magnesium, which is absolutely essential for making ATP. The B vitamins are like the workers on the assembly line, helping convert food into energy. Coenzyme Q10 is a vital spark plug in that energy production line. And L-carnitine acts like a little shuttle bus, carrying fuel into the mitochondria. If you're running low on any of these, your energy production is going to take a major hit.
Okay, now for our second area of investigation. We've seen the problem inside our cells. Now let's zoom out to a system-wide issue that could be sabotaging your energy from the inside out. A secret war happening deep inside your gut. Now, I know it might sound a little strange to connect your digestive system to your energy levels, but a huge and growing mountain of evidence shows this incredibly powerful link. Just think about this. Over 70% of people with ME/CFS also report having serious gut issues. This has led researchers to ask a really fascinating question. Could this whole energy crisis actually start in the gut?
And this image just shows the difference so clearly. On the left, you've got a healthy gut. It's a diverse, thriving ecosystem of helpful microbes, all protected by a strong, solid barrier. But then on the right, you see a state called dysbiosis, which is super common in ME/CFS. The diversity is way down, and that barrier is compromised. It's become leaky. And that allows all these inflammatory particles to escape into your bloodstream, causing chaos all over your body.
And the data absolutely confirms this. A massive analysis that looked at multiple studies found a really significant drop in the diversity of gut bacteria in ME/CFS patients compared to healthy people. This isn't some small little tweak. We're talking about a fundamental shift in the body's entire internal ecosystem.
So what happens when we lose all that good bacteria? Well, we lose the ability to produce these crucial compounds, like butyrate. Butyrate is this amazing substance that your healthy gut bacteria make when you feed them fiber. It's like superfuel for the cells that line your gut, and it's also a powerful anti-inflammatory. And, you guessed it, studies show that ME/CFS patients have way fewer of these butyrate-producing bacteria, which leads to a weaker gut and more inflammation.
Okay, so we've looked at the problem at the cellular level and in the gut. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, the actual fuel we're putting in the tank. Because what we choose to eat has a direct and often really immediate impact on our energy.
This is a cycle that I think almost all of us know way too well, the infamous sugar crash. It all starts when you eat something high in simple carbs. You know, candy, white bread, a soda. Your blood sugar shoots up like a rocket. In response, your body releases this huge surge of insulin to handle all that sugar, but it often overcorrects. This causes your blood sugar to then crash way down below normal a little while later. And what's the result? Fatigue, brain fog, and this intense craving for, you guessed it, more sugar.
So, to break out of that vicious cycle and properly fuel our cellular engines, we need to focus on foods that are packed with key nutrients. Think of this as your personal energy toolkit. You need iron to carry oxygen, which is critical for energy. You need that magnesium we talked about, which is key for making ATP. You need B vitamins to help convert your food into usable energy. And you need vitamin C to help you absorb that iron. Building your meals around real, whole foods that are rich in these nutrients gives your body the stable, lasting energy it's craving.
So what's the big takeaway here? Your fatigue is real. It's not some mysterious, untreatable curse like adrenal fatigue. It's a signal. It's your body trying to tell you that its cellular engines, its gut ecosystem, and its fuel supply all need better support. Your energy isn't gone forever. It's just waiting for the right building blocks, the right fuel. So the real question is, what are you going to choose to feed it today?